We are introducing Home Search V2.
Awesome. Awesome. All right, guys, let's get rolling because we have a lot to cover. We are over 600 and growing here. And again, super excited to introduce Charlene to everybody who is working directly with G and working directly with Barry and our whole product team. And she is awesome, amazing, amazing addition to the Ylopo family and all the great stuff you're going to see today. Everybody, thank not only G, but thanks Charlene as well. She is amazing. So cool. Let's, G, throw up the prez. Let's get rolling.
All right, let's do it.
More caffeine, everybody.
I like to call Charlene, the devil's in the details.
Oh. Ooh, she gets a nickname. Like everyone on Sean's team gets a nickname. Charlene, devil in the details. All right. So Home Search V.2, version 2, beta test pre-launch. So why do we it's a little bit redundant, beta test pre-launch. Why are we saying that? Because guys, we're going to release this into the wild. We're going to talk about a release schedule, but we still want you to give us a ton of feedback. Understand this is not the final version. We're going to be working on this and improving this throughout 2021, right? So don't get your panties in a bunch if it's if it right at first we release it and something kind of fails or breaks or you don't have something that you need. We're going to show you how to get all of your input into our system so we can continue to make it better. So think about it not as the final product, think about it as the beta, the test, the pre-launch. You guys are part of our product process. It's not just here you go, okay, and you're oh, but I can't do this, whatever, that's wait for the next version. No, you'll see, you guys are gonna become part of the product process, and it's starting with the launch of the beta. All right, a lot more details coming on that G's gonna present. So why did we take our home search and invest 7 figures and well over a year and a half and hours of time and all this kind of stuff in something that was already pretty good and was working and all that? Because the consumer home search experience, we kind of we're always talking about new cool stuff and Diva and Raya and let's try marketing on this platform and all this cool new stuff, right? But most companies in our space, by our analysis, they might have built home search 10 years ago and then it's stuck. It never improves. It's just there. And it drives you crazy, okay? I see all these kind of IDX, home search, website companies, and their home search is awful. It's just awful. And it's been the same way for a decade. But we understand that the consumer home search experience is literally the most important arrow in your quiver, okay? Because yes, buyers, and there's a lot more buyer leads always than quote unquote seller leads, but buyers are, of course, they're going to be wedded to the home search that they love, and they're going to come back and want to use the home search that they love. But it's not just buyers, okay? It's also sellers. Sellers, right? They indicate when they start searching for homes, first off, they might be looking for homes in their own area to start getting a sense of how much equity is in their house, right? What are competitive homes going for? They are absolutely going to search for homes in other areas to see what they can afford. And, 1 out of every 2 times they're tipping their hat, they're a seller, right? So that's what we realize. It's for all the opportunities on the buyer side, the seller side. It's where we get them. It's where they start, but it's also where they come back, right? That's where they come back. And we're doing, the dynamic listing alerts, and we're doing the dynamic remarketing and social media, bringing them back. But we know that if we can keep making it better and better and better and better, they're going to love to come back. They're not going to want to use Zillow. They're not going to want to use Realtor.com. They're not going to want to use Redfin, okay? So our stated goal of this company is eventually to have, right? I'm not going to be so arrogant to say we have it right now, but to eventually have the greatest home search experience in the world. And we're going to die trying.
Well,
right?
And that's what's innovative. That's what's innovative. Normally we're always creating this new thing, but I was telling G yesterday, what's innovative about this is the massive focus and investment in what we know the consumer wants. And so, when you think about new and exciting features, I'm sure a lot of these agents, don't necessarily say, oh, I want a new search site. But, honestly, this is what we need to take our businesses to the next level. Because as you've said, if they love our site and they're already on our site because of ads, but if they love it, man, that's a huge win for us.
And, we are going to continue on our stated mission. Okay, our stated mission, I love this mission, and everyone in Ylopo knows and loves this mission. Okay, and you as our clients, as our loved and valued clients, need to understand our mission. We are here to arm you against the big guys. Like, there's no doubt about it, right? You know, Zillow spends, you know, marketing plus technology, it's like $1.25 billion, right? And you've got Zillow, Realtor.com, Redfin, and, you know, and HomeLight and Open Door, and the list goes on, right? We are here to partner with you to give you like this mad basket of technology that you don't get just by buying a portal lead. You don't get any tech, right? It's a lead here today, gone tomorrow. We're gonna give you this giant basket of tech. By the way, every single time you spend dollars with those guys, it goes to their brand. It's supporting their brand. No consumers, no buyers, no sellers see Ylopo. They always see your brand, your team, your brand, your listing, your message. So when you are actually a client of ours, okay, that money is going to support your brand. We will also not put our hands in your pocket, and we are not asking for referral fees, and we are not asking for commission splits, okay? And, right, we are also not controlling the consumer. You control the consumer. That is your consumer, okay? And you want to figure out mortgage, and you want to figure out title and escrow, hallelujah, because that's what the big guys are trying to do. They're trying to control the consumer, which is why they're going to keep moving to referral fees and commission splits, because they want to control the whole thing. They want to make money on mortgage. It's stated goals. Read it in their annual reports, right? And so we are on your side. It's an amazing, amazing mission. So again, home search. Yeah, that's cool. Let's go to that next flow chart. G. Yeah. So again, this is like looks a little bit complicated, but I love this slide, right? So we're generating all these opportunities, right? You guys know I hate the word leads, right? Buyer opportunities, seller opportunities. We're generating for you, but we also, like, you know, if you're buying portal leads, if you've got leads from other sources, right? We do mass import of your database, auto import from other sources. Get everything into your fishbowl, right? Your fishbowl. And we're moving that consumer automatically with our tech from the aspirational stage to the researching stage to the ready to transact stage. We're moving them along, but to move them along, you need to have world-class home search, right? To get them in initially, right? So we're gonna be talking about conversions and all that kind of stuff. And then we want them to use the site and keep using it, right? And keep searching on that site and love going back to it. Dynamic remarketing, dynamic listing alerts. Watch that elevated search behavior all the time, like a microscope, which is what we're doing. And when we get elevated search behavior, we tap you on the shoulder with the priority alerts. Raya can proactively start conversing with these consumers as well, right? And you guys need to focus on your priority alerts, focus on your Raya conversations, right? And get the face-to-face appointments. Home search is critical in this whole process, not just for buyers, but for also tipping the hat of sellers. Next slide, G. So as I said before, like, we spent over a year and a half developing V2, and we're not going to stop. We're never going to stop, right, Charlene? We're never going to lose sight of these core things. We're always going to release new sexy stuff, and you guys got to stay to the end, because G is going to be talking about some kind of teasing some cool new stuff for 21, right? That's why you guys are with us, because everyone else is sleeping and they're trying to catch up with us, and you guys are going to be on the cutting edge when you stay with us. But Charlene knows we're also never going to forget the sort of the core stuff as well, always improving. We're talking about that. So we hire top industry leading user experience and user interface talent, okay, to do this. We've got a huge team of dedicated engineers, designers, product staff, okay? And we've invested over 7 figures into this, guys. So we're really, really serious about not just the new sexy stuff, but the core critical tools, and nothing more critical than home search. So having said that, I'm going in the background. I'm going to hand it over to G and Barry and Charlene.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you for that really succinct summary. So high level, guys, you know, today we're going to focus on really what is our first release for 2021. But it follows a major theme about what our Ylopo's product focus is for 2021. And to summarize it in 2 statements, it's first, make major improvements to existing technologies, right? At Ylopo, I think you guys all know we're fantastic at releasing technologies really quickly. That's what we pride ourselves on. But, you know, when you release something, especially into the wild, there are a lot of areas that you can improve on, right? You know, and what you're going to see is that we're going to go back to our favorite technologies, whether it's home search, which is you're going to see here, or Raya, and we're going to make major improvements to that, right? So improvements that I think everyone is going to be really excited about and frequently requested. The second thing we're going to do is we are going to find new advertising channels to expand your lead gen, lead nurture, and branding, right? That means we're going to explore fully YouTube, Google display marketing, Snapchat, whatever technologies and platforms that allows us to reach more consumers and get to it cost effectively, we're going to be testing all over those sources. So that's what you can expect from us in 2021. So we're going to introduce a ton of stuff about V2. You're going to see it live. We're going to demo it, obviously, and then we're going to show you how you're going to be able to test this alongside of us. But I want to reflect on V1 first, because you're going to see the differences between V1 and V2 very clearly once you see kind of all the areas that we want to improve on. Right? So first, let me say that Home Search V1 is an extremely stable and reliable home search experience. Obviously, we are going to make it even better, but it's something we're really proud of, and we're not going to deprecate this, by the way, for the foreseeable future, right? Because for at least some clients, some markets, V1 will perform better than V2 for a variety of different reasons, right? You know, looking at the results, you know, we built V1 for social media traffic, right? And every single year, our conversion for V1 and for social media traffic actually improves. In 2020, we've actually improved our cost per lead for the entire year by 30%. Now, that was partly a COVID impact for sure, right? But, you know, it goes to show how efficient our search experience is. You know, V1 generates really high quality engagement, right? The first time visitors come to our site, they spend 12 minutes on the site. Most of the people who come to the website are mobile. So you can imagine 12 minutes is a long time. They average, on average, view 14 plus listings. And over the first 60 days, they will have a 4% showing or info request rate, right? That's extremely high engagement. And, you know, you'll see this is one of the reasons we're going to take a very cautious approach to releasing this to all of you and making it the default experience to replace V1, right? Because at the very least, we need to match, but obviously our goal is to dramatically improve on these results, right? So, you know, we have a really high benchmark that we're going to be chasing here, right? And bottom line is people like the home search experience. We see a 15% click-through rate on our remarketing ads, which is phenomenal. I mean, the average on Facebook is probably 2 to 3%. And on our listing alerts, for all of the listing alerts we send out, we get a 22% click-through rate on those listing alerts. So almost a quarter of people who receive a listing alert is clicking on it. These are people returning to the website and they're engaging, right? So these are, again, stats that we're going to be benchmarking our existing website on. So, you know, that being said, there were a lot of things that we want to improve about V1, right? We built this website in 2016. As Howard said, most, you know, platforms in our industry, they won't update their home search website perhaps ever. And if they do, it's every 10 years or some ridiculous amount of time, right? We built this website in 2016 and we started development on our new site in midway through 2019, right? Because we are, you know, always focused on how to improve our home search website. And you guys are going to see that consistently over the next year or two, how much effort we're going to put into it. But the first thing we wanted to improve is the UX UI, you know, of the home search website. The next thing we wanted to improve is the area search. As you can see here, not only is the design in need of tweaking, but a lot of the fields are difficult to configure. We hear, you know, a lot of, you know, kind of feedback from clients about, you know, how all of the data is laid out. All of the amenities, you know, for your clients to look for is captured under a tab that is pretty buried within the home search experience and makes it difficult to search. We wanted to improve that dramatically, improve the UI of search in general, because that's, you know, probably the most important thing when it comes to a home search website. a big one, guys, we wanted to build a brand new map view, right? The map view we currently have on our website is subpar to what we want to do. And was built, I mean, to be candid, pretty hastily, right? Because map view wasn't important for lead conversion. But we know how important it is to all of you, and we know how important it is to your existing clients. So we completely rebuilt the map view. On our listing results page, we also had a lot of things that we wanted to improve, right? So as an example, the photos right now take up about a quarter of the screen. You're going to see, what our new experience looks like. We felt like there were a lot of competing things that clients, for attention, whether it's the save or share or the request info and schedule showing schedule a private tour. There's so many calls to actions and options without prioritization, right? We thought that there were better ways to lay out all the details of the home. And we really felt like we needed to add additional content to the listing details page, right? And even make important things obvious. So as an example, right now we have your estimated mortgage payment on the top right-hand corner. Most people don't see the ability to adjust all of these settings, right? You're going to see how we, improved all of those elements. And another example, and this is the last one I'll give, but you guys, know the home search intimately, so I'm sure there's other issues that are frustrating. But when it comes to saving listings and favoriting listings on the website and having a profile associated with the consumer, we really don't have that experience, right? When you favorite properties, it shows up in, kind of a pretty disorganized way. So you're going to see all of these improvements that are coming. Right. So, when it comes to the philosophy of what went into our user experience design and, how we built V2, love for Barry to speak to that. So Barry, you want to explain these two slides?
Yeah, sure. So when G and the designers, and the team, we got together in 2019 to discuss redoing the search site, I was obsessed about, what the consumer wants, appropriately so. What does that buyer that's searching on a website want? And so we went to some reporting, and of course, the National Association of Realtors is always putting out different different data points. And some of the things that were pretty clear and consistent in these different reports was that the consumer wants larger pictures. They want more pictures. They want them to load fast, but they want them to be high resolution and as consuming of the screen as possible. They want super fast load times. They don't want to just wait around. And they want to be able to filter the search based on their needs, but they want to do it effortlessly. And so we kind of took that report, you can go to the next slide, and we began to look at some different things and really obsess about the details. Look, it bothered me that when I was looking for a home, I would just Google the address that I was looking at. And if Zillow was there, I would click it, and I enjoyed using their website. That bothered me. I wanted to use mine. And so, we wanted larger photos. We wanted a more minimalistic design so that only relevant data. A lot of times these photos have just all kinds of, watermarks and, the MLS numbers, the same size as the price. It just doesn't make any sense. The consumer doesn't care about the MLS number. So, we're putting that there as a requirement, but at the same time, like the consumer is not like, oh my gosh, look at that amazing MLS number. The map search, you guys are going to love what Charlene and the team have been able to come up with on that. It's been incredible. The profile section, being able to save and go back to look at those searches on the consumer's behalf. Of course, lead gen and the conversion experience, we wanted to really dial in. Scheduling, I wanted to be intuitive. I wanted it to be inviting, and I didn't want it to be like this massive deal. I'm going to contact the agent and bells are going off. I just wanted it to be, do you want to see the inside? And we were able to really capture that. The market data and the mortgage calculator, where somebody's getting into the weeds of the data, we wanted it to be in your face, plain, but also very helpful. And in my opinion, in just about every category, the team has crushed it. And I can't be more proud just to have my name associated with it.
Love it, Barry. Yeah, and I think once everyone sees it, you know, a lot of your points are going to be even more obvious. You know, want to kind of shout out both Barry here for, you know, being such an, you know, agent advocate through this entire experience. I think that's very rare for you know, startups in our space to have such a good advocate for the agent, right, along every step of the way here. Also, our UX UI designer, one of the leading UX UI designers, certainly for our space, you know, is not here. Bradley, I just want to call him out and thank for him for all the hard work that has gone into this. So I'm going to kind of very quickly walk through some features of our new home search website, and then I'm going to go and take you guys through it live, right? So first off, we've completely overhauled the look and feel. You're going to see great user experience throughout this, so I will show you the details of that. We have new improved filtering of searches. As I mentioned, we completely redid the searches, so we have brand new ways to do basic search, and we have a lot of detailed ways to do advanced search, and I'm very excited to have Charlene walk you guys through, you know, kind of all of the nuances of that. We have a brand new improved map search, you know, and options for you essentially to have a similar user experience to what the portals do. You know, we have completely redesigned our listing detail pages. So, you know, there's a lot of bells and whistles associated with that. You're going to see exactly what that looks like. You know, we've improved all of our listing details pages, added a ton of content and all of that good stuff, right? So high level, we've spent a lot of time thinking about the user experience and, you know, how the site, you know, looks and feels and all of that good stuff. But at the same time, we needed to be very performant, right? So you know, while we redid the UX UI, we were very careful about the architecture of this website because we wanted to improve dramatically the speed of the website. So our old website, the initial load time, so the first time content loads on the site is somewhere around 800 milliseconds to 1 second, right? Which is pretty darn fast, you know, but the faster you get with Google, the better, right? Our new website initial load time is only 244 milliseconds. That's lightning fast, right? So that's all the optimization work we've done under the hood to make sure the UX UI is fantastic, but also this site is super performant, right? And guess what? The data backs this up. You know, we've been running ads to the, you know, new V2 experience now because we wanted to test out, you know, the experience, obviously, you know, for about, I would say 4 months now. And we have a lot of data on this. And bottom line is, you know, our V2 home search is converting at 8.26% of all PPC traffic. That's really good number for nationwide. V1 was at 7.27%, which also is very good, but you can see that we improved on that result with V2 by over 10% with both the UI changes as well as the site speed performance issues. So I'll go into more of those details as well. Barry, anything to add before I go live? Oh,
I mean,
actually,
look,
you know what? I'm sorry, Barry, go ahead. But I forgot I was going to, you know, tell everyone about the launch details. Go
yeah,
ahead.
I was just going to say, you know, there's a lot of interests here, right? Like there's the agent's interests. There's your client that you sold 3 homes to. So well, first, as the agent, as the customer of Ylopo, you know, you want your brand to be shared. You want lead conversion. Your past clients, you want them to have a pleasurable searching experience. With new business acquisition, you know, we need it to be able to convert leads and load fast. So there's all these different perspectives that we had to take in to consideration, and that's why companies don't mess with this. But it's also why we're going to be so set apart. And you know, when you looked at what G has shared, and you guys we're going to go over it some more. We've been able to do it. Is it done? No, but I personally think we'll never be done. I think it's something we'll always be working on. So really, really excited to keep just sharing with the team, you know, what this looks like.
Awesome. Awesome. So I'm going to go live in a second here. I just wanted, while everyone is still on the webinar, I wanted to give you the release cycle because this is a pre-launch, right? And high level, basically on Monday, November 16th, that's next Monday, we are going to make a big push so that everything you see in this demo is going to be live on Monday, right? We didn't want to release at the end of this week. So we're, going to the weekend. So we're waiting till Monday to release everything. In order for you to see all of the content, just go to search.yourdomain.com or .net, whatever your domain is, /V2, right? You can go there today if you want, but you're seeing an older experience. Monday, without all the bells and whistles I'm showing you today, right? On Monday, you are going to see all of those bells and whistles, all of the improvements that we've made. And, we will make an announcement in the YC and send out email on Monday as well, so you guys remember. Throughout November and December, we are going to do a progressive release schedule. So that means every X number of weeks, as we have new features, we're going to be pushing those live, right? So you guys will, once again, by visiting the V2 domain, will be able to be alongside of us and see all of the improvements over time. And we're going to be doing a lot of testing, right? We're going to make sure that your listing alerts are going to have the same engagement numbers. You saw what we did for V1. We have a lot of stuff that we need to benchmark against, right? Even in just this release, we found like something crazy, like 40 to 60 small bugs that need to be fixed. That's the nature of building out a completely new, brand new home search experience, right? So I'm going to show you how you can help us in that endeavor. So our goal is by the end of December, we are going to have all of the kinks worked out, fully tested. And in that January timeframe, we're going to start, because we're confident in the data, right? If we're not confident, we're not going to do this. But if we're confident, we are going to start replacing your V1 home search with V2, right? So you're jumping right in. All of your consumers are going to see it. And we will do that on a rolling basis. So we'll do hundreds of clients at a time, whatever that number is, and we are going to make sure everything is functioning correctly, but also know that if you have major compliance or custom work to your home search website, like you changed a lot of stuff, you're probably the last ones to roll out on V2, right? Because we have to go back and we have to program all of those exceptions once again. If you have a complicated site and you want V2 sooner than later, I recommend reaching out to support@ylopo.com and, saying, hey, how can I simplify my site so that I can get V2 sooner, right? So I'm just putting those warnings out there. So here's the great news. This is something that, Barry thought of and Charlene thought of that is going to, I think, be a fantastic addition over the next 60 days and beyond for home search and really for all of Ylopo products. You are going to, when you go on V2, find bugs, no question about it, right? And that's just the nature of how this is going to progress. And we're going to hunt those bugs as well, and we're going to fix those bugs, right? You are also going to go through V2, and you're going to think of new features and ideas that you think would be ideal in our home search experience, right? And so in either of those situations, we actually set up a website, ylopo.com feature upvote or ylopo.featureupvote.com, right? If you go to that page, it's actually a forum that has been set up that you can add additional items to, whether they're bugs or features. And it allows the other people within our organization, as well as other clients, upvote their favorite items, right? So this is a way for you guys to influence our home search roadmap for 2021, as well as help us hunt down all the bugs and issues that you see, right? So, Barry, anything to add to this?
I just want to add that for anyone that votes on the ideas within this form, I'll be monitoring. And when we move them along into the dev cycle and they're completed, anyone who has voted on those ideas will get notified. So they'll be in the loop as we are updating those bugs or adding features.
Yeah, well, what I really like about this, honestly, G, is this is so important, and there's so many different scenarios. Like, there's a bunch of questions that are so specific to their specific market or MLS that I've just left there because I'm like, oh, I don't know how to answer it. And because this search site is going to be used in so many different ways, it only makes sense to allow the community to dive in. And we say it, you hear Howard say it all the time. We've got such an amazing think tank in the Ylopo community, and to be able to use what you know, what's important to them or what they see as a need and bring it all into one place, share it in that upvote tech. It's just a great way for them to participate in this innovation. And that's not normal, right? Like, it's not normal for a company to allow its entire user base to inform them on the direction of the search site. I mean, that's transformative. I see Howard has come back, so he's probably got something he wants to share.
Well, I've just, I've read, and I hope Charlene has, and G has, and you have, and Brad, who's in the audience, has just read all of the, comments and questions in the chat here in the Q&A. And so it's like overwhelming, right? Like every single client has a home search feature request, right? And we're gonna try to get to like as much of it as we can, but that's why it's really never ending. And I mean, at least we are, like I said, the company that says we understand this stuff is critical for your business, and we can never stop. Like, we just can never stop. But I've literally gone through like every single question, every single chat, which we're capturing all here. And it is already like, we haven't even ended the webinar yet. It's already a monster list, right? So it's a big task, and we will triage it, right? So that's what we have to do as a company, right? You can't solve everything right away. We triage it, get the most popular, most important requests, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. And we're just gonna, I can see it, it's a never ending process to get better and better and better. But, will it ever be perfect? Is anything ever perfect? Right? No, okay. But I'll tell you, it's gonna be way better than what you could get anywhere else. That's for sure.
Awesome. Okay, guys, I'm going to take you live into our home search website and take a tour of everything. I'm so excited about this. So first off, when you go to search.yourdomain.com /V2, you're going to land on the new V2 homepage. You'll still be able to edit the text. You'll still be able to do all that kind of stuff. We've just freshened the look and feel. And on here, let's start by going to a particular location. So you're going to see here in the search field itself, we will display city, communities, postal codes, neighborhoods, and school districts, subdivisions, of course, but school districts as well that, are present in the area, right? So if I type in Santa Monica as an example, it will show all the different school districts within that particular area, right? So let's go back to West Hollywood, and I will walk through the entire experience. So the first thing you're going to notice is that we have pretty substantially changed the listing results page, right? We've added quite a few features. We've taken away some stuff. And, first and foremost, the focus is entirely on the listings themselves, right? As Barry mentioned, we looked at a lot of different competitive websites, used NAR, data and other data as guides to figure out what are the most important information, how do you display it on a per listing basis, right? Another major insight that we had was that on the old home search website, people first off, for the most part, care about photos, right? We all know that. And on our old home search website, other than the first photo that you see, in order to see more photos about a particular property, you have to click into the property, right? So that's taking one more extra step. And so what we went ahead and did was added a carousel so that clients or consumers can preview essentially a listing and all of its photos before committing to going and seeing it, right? And we are seeing somewhere like 25 to 30% of consumers who navigate essentially entirely on the search results page because they are able to tab through all the photos in a summary view, right? And that's fantastic because that's data that we are collecting about what properties are interested in that's going to feed all of your algorithms, right? So that was a really key feature and insight. The other improvement that we made I wanted to call out is that on the old website, we had something called an infinite scroll. What it meant is as you scroll through the page, you're just going to load listings in perpetuity, right? One, that slowed down our website. The second thing is based on UX UI research, from Bradley, we realized that just like with Google results, after a certain number of pages, or listings, people just want some sort of pagination, right? So we not only added in pagination, but we added in the ability for a consumer to actually save a search and then set its frequency, do a bunch of other stuff. I'll show you.
Nobody knows what pagination is.
Okay, that means making all of these listings show up in pages rather than just scrolling and seeing a bunch of listings, right? That's all it means. So Barry, anything else you want to add about the listing results page?
Well, as you see here, we've done exactly what we were hoping. People care about the price and the size of the home. They want the small updates like open house or coming soon. These little green boxes were put as a way to update status easily. And so if you click on the arrows for the photos, yeah, there you go. Makes you register. But, just basically ease of use was really the focus there. And so Bradley crushed it. He did a really good job with this.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was just going to jump to the registration, right? Like one other major thing, just nerding out about the website for a second, is you saw the improvement to conversion rate. The reason that's happened is that not only is the site faster and all that kind of stuff, but we have given the consumer multiple touch points of where we have data that they want to see, and therefore they will register to see that content, right? The first way, of course, is to go to a listing itself, right? And we're going to ask you to register. That's what everyone does. The next thing is as you're carouseling through, after you view a couple of photos, we're going to capture you again, right? And if you're really interested in a particular area and you go to page 2 or 3 of those listings, boom, we register again, right? So we have 3 different, what I call leverage points with the consumer, where we have data they don't have, they want it, they're going to fill out a form for it, right? So those are all kind of things that took a lot of time and testing that look small that, make a great home search website, right? So the next section I want to show you guys, and actually, before we get into that, I'm going to actually register. So, every time once someone, goes to a page with a registration page, every subsequent visit, they are going to be asked to register, right? So a consumer is going to come on here. We're going to ask for their phone number, and then we're going to ask for their name and email after that. Remember, the reason we do that is because we now capture this consumer's email or phone number so that we can do marketing to it later on, right? So I'm going to answer a couple of questions. And at the end of this, I'm going to be done. I'm able to view content, right? So back to the search results page. One of the most radical changes we made is we changed how searches are done on our website, right? So on the location bar, as I showed you, a lot of different location options, but we realized that location, price, bedroom, bath, and home type are the 4 things rather the consumers spend the most time editing, right? And so instead of having that hidden under one big button, we allow consumers to go through and adjust the price, bedroom, bath, and home type directly on the interface, right? This looks like a small change, but it actually is pretty significant because as you know, in the previous home search experience in V1, when someone runs a search, they edit the listing, the location, the price, the bedroom, bath, all at the same time, right? So we know here's exactly what this consumer is looking for. Here's what we're gonna send them listing alerts on, right? When you're coming in here and you're adjusting the price and then viewing a couple listings, then adjusting the bath and viewing a couple listings, you know, it's hard to know exactly what listing alerts consumers want, right? So we had to also innovate in that area as well. So, you know, once a consumer adjusts their price point, you know, all of the searches will update, you know, automatically, and so on and so forth, right? We're working on a lot of micro features that clients have asked for. You're going to notice there are big things that we've done here, and then we're adding a bunch of small things. One of those examples is we've gotten a lot of feedback that people want both the ability to search for 3-bedroom plus, and then also to use exact match, right? Only homes with 3 bedrooms or 3 beds, 2 baths, whatever is the case, right? So we're adding a lot of these small touches that I think you guys will appreciate. And we want to hear about all of these small things so we know what to think about, right? And want to see what people upvote. So, you know, that's where that website comes in handy. And I'm looking forward to what you guys recommend. Now, the next section we want to get into is our more filter section. And there's a lot of nuance here. You know, I don't want to spend too much time on it because we're already running a little bit late, but I'd love to bring in Charlene here and quickly talk about the process that we went through and then to go through the features here.
All right, thanks, G. So when we were designing these filters from the home search, we conducted user testing, meaning we had participants who at the time were active home buyers who were already searching homes on all the major portals like Redfin, Zillow, Realtor.com. One of the most consistent feedback that we got were that, you know, within their search experience, they wanted the experience to be mindless and simple, you know, a very little minimum cognitive thinking. So hence, we took that feedback into making, you know, breaking out these price, bed, bath filters into shortcuts so it's easy to navigate and it's very visible in the navigation bar. For all the additional filters, we put them under this more filters dropdown. As G has said, in V1, right now, those filters take up the entire page, right? And you lose the workflow from when you were originally searching for listings because now you see this page of filters. In V2, we decided to create it in this smaller modal where you can still see the listings in the background and you're not lost in terms of your experience within the search. Other common filters are the interior square feet and amenities. Those are commonly searched by homeowners. So we made sure that they were clearly visible and up high in this more filters dropdown. Also, they're above the fold, meaning you don't need to scroll before you see those options. So it's right there and obvious. For the power users who need to have more advanced filters, we created a second page within this modal, which can be accessed through that link at the bottom. Again, unlike V1, right now, all of the advanced filters are just exposed. Like you have to go through a sea of information to find the specific criteria you're looking for. In V2, we're putting those behind these accordions or these drop downs where you need to expand and collapse to see the options, essentially putting the user, allowing the user to drive the navigation and let them decide what they want to look for in the filters so that we overall create a simple and easy to use design so that we, you know, delight them and they want to come back.
Awesome. Awesome. Thanks so much.
And G,
Go ahead.
I think it also bears, what Charlene was able to do with what the filters were to what the iteration is right now. Honestly, it was super impressive. The way she was able to parse through all of that user feedback, study it, present it. I was really impressed. So I just wanted to say that publicly, Charlene, that we really appreciate your dedication to making this easier for our clients, the real estate buyers and sellers, but also as Ylopo users. Excellent work on this filter section.
User feedback is key for us.
Yeah.
Um, address search. So you can see more filters, address search right here, search by MLS number. We are absolutely going to work on combining all of that into one search. There's just some complexities around that, but it is definitely an improvement we're making. But address search is right here. Awesome. So I'm going to move on to what a lot of you guys have been waiting for, which is the map view, right? So, if I were to exit a city, by the way, start a new search, all I have to do is exit out of that little arrows right there. I'm going to kind of bring up another city here so that we can look at a new experience. So I'm now looking in Thousand Oaks, and as a consumer, if I click on the map view, this will instantly take me into kind of a map search, right? And obviously the UX UI is very different, but of course the functionality is different as well, right? So the first thing is, when you click on this little accordion right here, we open into a 2-lane, what is called a hybrid view. One of the things we'll do is, when we eventually release this, is to give you the option of making this, say, your homepage, because this is the Zillow, Realtor.com, Redfin view, right? Now, this view does not work well in mobile, just because it's a map search, and it also doesn't. It works okay in mobile. I don't want to say that. I'll show you guys. But it also doesn't work well for lead conversion, right? But for organic traffic, it could work really well, right? So that's going to be an option. I think this is going to be a really neat feature for you guys.
Yeah, and being able, for me, when we went from one column to two, I think a lot of people are going to want to, use this view because we're a very visual society. And when you look at a lot of the portals and compare it to a lot of the search experience for real estate agents today, not just Ylopo, but just, the other companies that are out there, this type of experience is what the consumer wants. They want to be able to look at a map and geographically decide what part of town they want to be in, but they don't want to sacrifice the ability to look at the pictures. And so what I'm excited about with this is what you guys were able to come up with as far as a way to do that and not sacrifice performance.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Yeah, and once the consumer goes in here, and performance is really key here, right? With the map, making sure it's fast and all that good stuff. There's a lot of different ways to explore this information, right? There is clicking on a particular listing and getting essentially a very brief, data point about this particular property. Every listing on the right-hand side is within their search box, right? So if they wanted to navigate in this hybrid view, look at different listings and then see geographically where that's located, which is a lot of how people use map search, they can absolutely do that. If they, kind of resort, right? Let's say only looking at recently reduced properties, that instantly shifts the map over, and they can see all of the reduced properties as well, highlighting on the experience, right? So a lot of different ways for them to search. This is not active today, but will definitely be when we launch, is the ability for a consumer to be able to see the types of properties directly on the map experience, right? So if they only wanted to see coming soons, they only wanted to see open houses, they're able to have a map experience that shows them that, a line of the right-hand experience, which is, again, one of the key map features, right? The ability to kind of very quickly plot the types of listings. So a lot of small nuanced stuff, right? Now, the feature that I know that everyone has been waiting for a very long time is on the front end of the website. We want to be able to do boundary draw, right? And that is the ability to click on this draw button, do an area square, click apply, and now the search narrows only to that particular area, right? So, this is now a feature that, again, will be active active on Monday when we release this in the wild that you'll be able to play with. And I know it has been, one of the most highly requested features. So I'm very happy that we have rolled this out for you guys. And so, I would play around with the map now once it's released on Monday. Now, the caveat that I would put on here is that the map is oftentimes the hardest thing to work out all of the bugs when it comes to home search. It's the thing that takes the most engineering, right? So I promise you are going to find a lot of buggy stuff when it comes to the map. Just expect that it's going to improve over time, especially before it launches January. We're going to be making a ton of tweaks to it. So you can, let us know of any major bugs you find, and it's going to get fixed, right? So explore the map, come back, and but we've added a lot of new features here, right? I'm very excited about this map experience. Now, if I saw a listing that I was interested in within the map experience, like this particular property right here, I can either find it on the right-hand side, right? Or I can click on this particular listing, and now I'm going to go into the listing details page, right? The first thing you're going to notice on the listing details page is that based on the NAR research, based on UX UI, data, we know photos matter more than anything. And so you can see here, the first thing the consumer sees is all of the data that matters about this particular home on the bottom, but around 50% of the screen is focused on the photo, right? And we're going to give them a lot of different ways to navigate and access the photos on this page. If they click on this little shorthand icon here, it actually opens up a preview right inside the photo experience that allows them to jump around to different photos, right? If they click on any of the photos, of course, they get an even bigger view and they're able to navigate throughout the experience, right? So a big emphasis on this page on the actual photos. If they have a video walkthrough on the property, we make it very blatant on it, on the page, so they can click this video walkthrough button and it takes them directly into the video tour. On the results section here, we have both the summary and the data laid out really well in a 3-column approach. I'm going to get to the right-hand side in a second. The consumer gets a much more condensed and, I think cleaner amenities section. They can expand and see all of it or just kind of have a quick preview. We're going to show off all of the open houses for this particular property laid out well. Very excited about this. We are collecting data about zip codes and neighborhoods, and we're collecting that data not only ourselves through the MLS, but we're also licensing one of the most kind of accurate data sets around this content called Autos. And we're combining those into a neighborhoods widget on every single property to give it even more context for this particular home, right?
And as good as that Altos data was, it was confusing. And so the way that we've been able to reframe this, it just makes more sense to the consumer. So I'm really excited about providing valuable information with regards to local market trends on each individual listing. It's really, really cool.
Exactly right. Yep. And the other major addition we added is we wanted to make, and we got feedback that we want to make the estimated mortgage payment for a particular home even more blatant, right? So rather than making it a kind of small option on the top right hand page part of the page where it's pretty out of the way, we built it directly into the listing results page, right? So the default home price is going to be whatever is the price of the home. They are able to configure what they want to put down. They are able to configure the interest rates and terms, and then we're going to give them a high level estimate of what their monthly mortgage payment is going to look like, right? This is still a simplistic model. we want to add things like taxes and all of that into the calculation, but we need a licensed data for that, right? So in our V1, we're going to launch with this widget, which I think is already a huge improvement, but just know that, and especially we'll love your feedback if this is a pain point for you guys, know that we are going to be improving this with additional data, right? And we're going to then show them exactly where the property lives, and of course all similar listings nearby, right?
Well, and I like with the mortgage calculator, what we were able to do is it's less about, you know, giving them exactly, you know, you type in these numbers here and press enter. That's what mortgage calculators have historically been. But, you know, this is actually helping them decide what they can afford, which to me provides an additional value of a mortgage calculator. I mean, of course, the primary use is what is the monthly payment going to cost me? But now I can kind of quickly just breeze through and say, okay, if I want to keep it under $5,000 a month, which by the way, it's a lot of money, but anyway, $5,000 a month, you know, I can just quickly look at what that is going to buy me and all that good stuff.
Love it. Love it. Awesome. So, you know, the last feature I wanted to show off on this particular page, and again, one of the most requested features that we get is to change the showing request into a tour this home, right? So, you know, we took inspiration from this from, you know, other portal websites. I won't name names here, but you know, experiences that we thought was the best. And this home module not only gives the consumer the ability to select a date, but also whether or not they want to tour in person or via video chat, right? And when the consumer presses tour this home and schedule, you are going to receive a note a priority alert of a showing request, obviously, a note in your CRM with all the details, an email and a text, right? So, you know, I think that's going to be a huge feature for consumers as well. You know, before I move back into the search results section, anything else, Barry, you want to add about the listing details page?
Yeah. So like on the right, G's gone over the calendar, right? So Sunday 15, Monday 16, Tuesday 17. And instead of making it about contacting you, which is such a big like moment, do I want to talk to a human? What we've done is we've taken these beautiful pictures and right under it, it's like, hey, do you want to see it? Do you want to see it in person? Do you want to see it via video? It is my opinion that showing requests are going to increase significantly because this is much more intuitive. It almost makes it seem in a way to where you can just click it and then have access into the home, which that's not the case, but it's so inviting and effortless, which is the whole idea. And there are companies which, you know, some of these portals that have just done a great job with this. And we took what we thought in principle was a good concept and we made it better. Again, going back, it really bothered me that consumers would rather use the portals than my IDX website. And that's why we're flipping again, changing the game, right? That's what the name Ylopo is all about, is flipping the real estate lead gen on its head. And that's what this is all about.
Love it. Love it. Awesome. Okay. Well, I'm going to go back to Thousand Oaks and show you guys some additional features. Let's go to the card view here. You know, I want to show you guys what this all looks like in mobile in a second, because obviously 60 to 70% of your traffic comes from mobile. So that's in many ways more, you know, important than even your desktop experience. But, you know, we took a lot of pride in this, in particular, because you know, we did not have any of these features before, but we built out a system for tracking favorites and for saved searches, right? So as a consumer, if you came on the site and you really liked the information here, right? Let's say you adjusted the price, the bedroom bath, the home type, you made this really specific and you want to save this alert, all you do is press save search, name that search. You can set it to weekly, daily, or even instant, right? And now we will have a save search set up for you. So I'm going to just name this test and save. And that was successfully saved. right? In addition to that, I can start now favoriting properties. And the first time I do this, by the way, registration pop-up comes up, right? So it's not like you're able to track anything on here that is trackable. We need for them to sign in on. So we are going to get them register before they start doing any of this stuff. So you immediately see on the top right-hand corner, I have XYZ saved number of homes, right? So this is another reminder for the consumer that second, third, fifth, 10th time they logged in, they have several saved homes to look at, right? So when they go into their account settings, they will be able to see what is going on with all of the properties they've saved, whether it's a price reduction, a status change pending, whatever is the case, right? And by the way, anytime their status changes on a particular listing, we send them a listing alert called a bonded listing alert that, hey, this property just had a major change. You need to check it out, right? So they have multiple ways of coming in and essentially seeing their favorite properties and using that as motivation to get them to further engage and hopefully have a conversation with you about that particular property. Same thing, the search that was saved will also appear here, and you can instantly view those results. So they have a shortcut into all of their searches, as well as edit those searches for listing alerts, right? So those are other examples of improvements we made to the home search website. At this point, what I'll say is there's we already passed the hour mark, right? So we have some other goodies that we wanted to share. So what I encourage you guys to do is on Monday, go and check out the new experience. We will post as soon as it's live on the YSC as well as via email, and play around with it and give us feedback, right? I think you're going to see all of the other small nuances, changes that we made here that hopefully you see as a huge improvement. So let's go back.
While you're pulling that up, G, the saved section, right? The profile, that is totally beyond what most lead gen websites are doing. From a real estate experience, from an agent, it's not necessarily that consumer friendly because the company is just myopically focused on serving the real estate agent, which is like, what does the real estate agent want? What do they want to generate leads and all that stuff? And that's important. But the consumer wants a place for them to be able to save homes and engage them. And so when you look at the portals have been obsessed with what the consumer wants. The IDX websites and the marketing companies have been obsessed with what the agent wants. And so again, I said this in the beginning, but what's innovative about this is Ylopo is saying, our customers, agents, you need us to focus on what the consumer wants because it's better for your business. And that's what's innovative. And it's been interesting to watch it kind of play out. And I know 2021, all of us that are Ylopo users are going to crush it.
Awesome. Yeah. And like Barry said, we're not kind of standing still at all, right? I mean, what you're seeing here is going to be just the beginning. We are going to be fixing a lot of bugs, but we're also going to be adding new features as well. Some of these will be live, won't be live when you play with it starting on Monday, but will be live by the time we roll this out as a default for your website, which is in that January, February timeframe, right? Examples of features. We are going to add polygons to your map search. So if someone searches for a particular neighborhood, it will be, properly spelled out in your map view. And that applies to cities, neighborhoods, subdivisions, and schools, right? So we're going to be, you'll be able to put in a school district and see exactly, what that district covers, and also, of course, save that for listing alerts, right? We are going to be leveraging the same data source as Zillow, Realtor.com, and Redfin, in terms of the location data of, how we define what is a neighborhood, a city neighborhood subdivision, right? So think of it this way, if you have had frustrations with how a subdivision or a neighborhood shows up on your website, we understand you. It is a very complicated thing, hard to get right. But what we've done is license the same data that all of the largest portals use to do this, right? So at the worst, you're going to get an experience that is very similar or at parity with what consumers can get on all the portals, right? So I'm very excited about that update. We are at the same time going to bring in more accurate school search and school data on every listing, right? So we are also licensing data right around schools, what school boundaries are, what all the schools are in a particular city, neighborhood, subdivision. So expect all of those areas to be enhanced as well. Some additional features we're working on, historical listing data, right? All of the data associated with that listing from the time that it has gone on the market or even prior to that. Commenting and notes on listings so that you can exchange, comments and notes with consumers on your website, especially hot prospects. We're playing around the idea of using image recognition AI to identify things like kitchen photos, bathroom photos, pools, etc., so that allows your consumers to search by feature. So these are, kind of a little more long-term features, right, that we're going to be adding, but are examples of the type of stuff that we're doing where we will never stop innovating on the home search site because that list is going to be so long, right? So I'm going to just ask once again, as you have ideas, we want you guys to influence this, 100%, right? So as you have ideas, as you find bugs, go to ylopo.featureupvote.com and share that with us and upvote other things that consumers have asked for so we know what to prioritize. Do you have something to add, Howard?
No, again, we've already, I don't know, Barry, if you've been monitoring it, or Charlene, we already have like hundreds of requests just on the chat in this webinar, and we haven't even, Monday hasn't even rolled around yet for the tire kicking.
Well, real estate's hyperlocal, right? I mean, that's what we always say that. And so, to be able to come up with something that works across the country was no small feat, but we're getting there. We really are. I mean,
yeah, they're just, as someone just commented, right? Like there really are some great requests already just in this webinar, and we've saved the chat, right, for all of this. But it's a massive list already. Like I said, we haven't even released it on, on Monday. So we're going to do our best, guys, to get to as much as we can. But it's a never-ending process.
Exactly. That's why we have dedicated engineers on this, right? So enough said. I'm just excited for all of you guys to try out the experience on Monday. So, we expect a lot of action on this, experience on YSC, post what you like, post wins, right? So we're excited to see all of that. And you're going to see that home search experience evolve over time, ending in a January, February rollout where we're going to replace our default home search with this new home search, right?
You want to show them mobile too, though? I don't think we showed them the mobile.
You're a good call.
No, well, actually, Adam Coates, good call.
You want to pause your share, G, or you're good?
Okay, I am good.
Okay.
Give me 1 second.
So, guys, as you can tell, and from working with Ylopo, if you've been with us for a while, or if you're new, you don't really know, but we will never stop improving. We'll never stop adding new features, adding new tech, adding and refining and improving the marketing. What's interesting is we've had a number of clients who have come back recently, who were clients, left, and then came back, and they're just like, wow, like we can't believe all the stuff that you guys have done, since the last time we were a client. So that's really, really rewarding, and we love welcoming those folks back. And of course, we're getting feedback all the time from clients who have been with us for quite some time and they're really happy to be on this train. As we said, guys, we're on the same team, because we are only successful if you are successful. That's it. If you're successful and making hay with what we can give you guys, the tools we can give you to you guys, then we're successful. That's it. We recognize that. And that's what really resonated, with me when I was talking with Charlene, when she was thinking about joining us this year, which is she comes from a background of it's our customer. It's our customer that helps drive product, helps improve product. And we have to listen to our customer. And of course, Barry was a customer, is a customer, right? Our realtors and residents are customers using the product every day. The Ylopo professors, guys, if you are, killing it with us, and by the next summit you think you can teach, and you want to get a Ylopo professor t-shirt and be a Ylopo professor, okay, let us know. All right, we'd love to add you to the roster. G, you ready?
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, I skipped over this, guys. So much content here. So mobile, very important, right? So first you'll notice, like, our goal is we want the listings to speak for themselves. So one of the things that we did was condense the data at the very top. That's important, right? You want to know you're looking for single family homes in Thousand Oaks. So we condensed that as much as possible so that we can fit in 3+ listings as soon as the consumer lands, right? The consumer at that point can obviously resort all of that data. For the few, I doubt that a lot of people will do this, but for the few people who want to do a map, they actually can do a full map view in this experience and search around that. Like I said, very infrequent in my opinion, but they are able to do that. The vast majority of consumers are going to start viewing listings on the site. We see a lot of behavior. I think probably a third of consumers who spend the vast majority of their time tabbing through photos in the carousel view rather than clicking on a specific listing and spending a lot of time on it, right? So that's why that carousel is so important. Once you choose a listing that you're interested in, another major improvement we made was that, the mobile site, the former mobile site, did not allow you to see a larger image of the photo of the listing, right? For a variety of different reasons. So now, obviously, we heard a lot of your feedback that that's a big deal. So now you can click on the listing, and now you're able to preview or view the largest photos that we have about that particular home, right? So that's a big enhancement that clients have requested. From there, we basically condense all the information related to these properties in as kind of a linear and kind of minimalist way as possible. All of the calls to actions, all of the features, the open house data, the neighborhoods, etc., all is laid out beautifully, right? So we're very happy with the performance of the experience on mobile so far. We have been driving about 50,000 visitors per month to V2 already, just to make sure it's stable and drive our PPC traffic there and all that kind of stuff, right? And this mobile experience really stands out in terms of its performance. Anything else to cover, Barry?
Yeah, I mean, look, you get a link to listings, it loads this website, it makes the stuff that's not a priority when you're looking at a lot of homes. When you're looking at a lot of homes, I don't need the MLS number to be super large, right? I don't need the zip code necessarily to be super large. And so it's prioritized the photo, and then you've got the status in the top left corner. So if there's something exciting, reduced, or what is it? What are the others that we did? Coming soon or open house. There's just a bunch of them. So you've got the pictures and you've got the price. And, when you compare what we see right there to what's available in, the portals and everything else, this is going to be leading from an IDX standpoint. So really, really great job on all parts by everybody.
Awesome. Okay, well, for all of you warriors that stayed, which is actually a huge number, we have still 550 people on this webinar. I want to give you guys a sneak peek of 2021, right? As I said, our objective here this year make major improvements to existing technologies and find new advertising channels for lead gen, nurture, and branding, right? The latter, just trust I've got so many, things baking, that I don't want to kind of reveal right now, but some really interesting stuff happening on, new lead generation in particular, around sellers. But what I want to focus on is some of the major improvements.
Lead generation around sellers.
Lead generation around sellers.
Sellers and listings are important in 21. Okay, go ahead.
Wait for January, February. Yeah. So we are going to completely revise our stars page in the new year. We want to make it a lot more compact. We know it's something that you guys use every single day, and we're going to be improving a lot of elements of that. One of the questions that someone asked that I saw, there were too many to view all of them, is can you use boundary drawing as a feature on stars to create listing alerts to people? And the answer is yes. And I'm always surprised by clients who don't know it's there. That's 100% our fault. That means the UX UI wasn't good. I'm going to show you guys how to do that after this. So that's a total aside. We are going to completely revise mission control. Our goal with mission control is going to be that first, agents and team leaders and admins have different access to mission control. Right now, only admins have access to mission control and all of the tools in there, right? So we want an agent to be able to come in here and run their own seller listing presentation. We want them to come in here and be able to run a listing rocket with their own credit card, or to use the open house app, or whatever it is that they want to take advantage of within the Ylopo suite. And we want team leaders to have a different level of access, to be able to see the digital marketing, enhance the digital marketing, edit it, all that kind of stuff, view reporting, right? So we're going to build out a lot of those features, but we also want to add brand new things that we've heard from our clients that they really want. One idea that we have right now is to build out a inbox for Raya, right? So that all of your information for Raya is in one place that you can respond to directly within Mission Control, right? Another idea we've heard is that you really want a reporting engine so that you can sort by all leads that are wide priority, all leads that were generated by a particular source, all leads in a particular location, and then have the ability to export those leads into, some sort of email engine, or directly go to those leads.
Game changer.
CRM.
Game changer. Bam.
Well,
Barry, how long have we been talking about this?
Well, yeah, go back, because the mission control is going to have data about the ads and the behavior of the consumer that CRMs just aren't designed to, carry. And so, if this rolls out the way that we want, you see that in the top right, the export to the CRM. I know I'm making Charlene nervous by talking about this in front of everybody, but to be able to add a tag to the leads that I found in Mission Control, so that whatever CRM I'm using, doesn't matter, if I can send a note or with a searchable tag of some kind, I can do really deep searches and then push it out to my CRM to where I can work the leads. So really excited to be able to roll that out.
Check out the excitement and comments about Mission Control and the improvements on Mission Control. I mean, people are pumped up.
I feel like a proud dad right now, just because this.
Well, hey, we gotta deliver this. All right, all right, guys. Let's ship this before we celebrate.
Coming.
Yeah. The project we're working on right now that Charlene is really focused on is, we know how much of a pain it is for you guys to have to send us a logo, have us apply it in 5 different places. Every time an agent leaves, delete that agent, add an agent. All of that is a total pain right now because it happens through support. We are going to lift all of those elements that make sense, like editing photos, editing logos, changing information, adding team members. We're going to make all of those, accessible to you inside Mission Control as well, right? So I think that's going to, just not necessarily going to impact your lead gen, but it's going to just reduce a lot of frustration. And we're going to enhance portions of Mission Control as well, right? Barry developed this 6 months ago. We just haven't had time to implement it yet, but he revised the listing presentation report 100% to, I think, be dramatically better, right? So these are other small elements that we're going to be working on, right? So very excited about the roadmap for 2021. We are going to be 100% focused on having a successful, error-free launch of Home Search V2 as much as possible. So expect a lot of more news about that in the coming weeks and months. We will let you guys know how it's progressing. And once again, on Monday, we will send out an email and YSC post. Let's call it midday, 2 o'clock, something around PST, right? Something around that time. And just go to search.yourdomain.com/V2. You're going to be able to see exactly what I showed you today. And I'm looking forward to all of your guys' feedback. Anything else, team?
Little plug for the Ylopo success community, guys. When you get a win, when you get something great, it's a success community. It's positive stuff. We want everybody to see it, all right? You're not bragging. We want to see it, right? We want the whole team to see it. So anything cool that happens, anything positive, any success story, post it in the Ylopo success community. All right, we want to see your guys' participation there, and make sure you're going there. Make sure you're watching it there. There's all of our great posts are there, and great comments and lots of shares. Really, really valuable. So just a reminder there. I want to thank everybody, G and Barry and Charlene and Brad and Chris and the whole engineering team, the product team, design team, the whole team Ylopo. This is, really, really exciting. And as you guys who stayed on can see from what G teased, he only teased a bit of it, 21, we're releasing a lot of really cool and exciting stuff, right? We've got a plan that goes out years. It just will take time to get there. So anything else, Dr. J, Barry J?
Well, I answered 100 questions in the Q&A, but there's still 50 very specific to MLS scenarios. And so I just want to encourage everybody, take your question and email product@Ylopo. And if it's a feature request, go ahead and use the feature up.
Okay. Let's not use product. Let's just use support.
Well, it's questions about on the new site.
Issues? Oh, okay. I thought it was MLS issues. Okay, never mind.
No, issues go to the support. But if it's like, hey, I really wish on the new site we could do email product. Yeah. So.
Okay.
Or post to that URL that G shared. I'm already looking at it. I see a lot of feature requests already, so it'll be a delight to look through.
Yeah, and as far as the future, it's bright, guys. Just keep selling houses, and we're going to keep giving you the tech that you need to make it happen.
G?
I'm just excited for you guys to all try it out on Monday. So expect to see, I expect to see YSC light up. That's my hope.
All right, guys, keep building up your database. Build up your database. The bigger your database, the more priority alerts, the more riot conversations. Build a giant assets for the future. Cultivate today, conquer tomorrow. Thanks, everybody.